Hey runners, happy Monday, the last day of March, March 31st. I can't believe how quickly the year is going by. We are uh, basically one quarter of the way through 2025. So, hope you guys had a great weekend wherever you're watching from. Beautiful Monday morning here in Phoenix. Temperatures are going to be nice this week. I believe today we're going to be 80, low 80s. Yesterday we were about 81, and today we'll probably hit about the same, which is about average for this time of the year. And then we're going to have a cool down coming where we might actually dip into the upper 60s for a day or so and stay in the 70s. And then 80s by the weekend. So fantastic because the heat's coming. Uh, Want to give you guys a recap. This vlog is basically going to recap the race that we did, my wife and I, over the weekend. I did a 5K trail race where my wife raced the 10K trail race up in Sedona here in Arizona. It's about 2 hours, just over 2 hours north of us. If you're familiar with Flagstaff, where a lot of the elite runners train, it's about half hour, 45 minutes south of there. And the elevation in Sedona is roughly 4,500 feet. So, to give you a little comparison, here in Phoenix, where we live, we're about 1,100, 1,200. So, it's a good 3,300 square feet of elevation. It can impact some people and others not so much. For me, typically it does. However, in recent times, up to 5,000 feet or so, about a mile, it doesn't affect me as much as it used to. However, when we go to Flagstaff, it does. So we'll see how that pans out again. We've got a race that we're going to be doing, the 4th of July mile race, the downtown mile race in Flagstaff, which is 7,000 feet, and that is a lung burner, let me tell you. But today's video is all about the Sedona Stumble 5K and 10K trail race. So the race was on Saturday, the 29th of March. Um, you know, Sometimes we'll stay the night and do the race in the morning, but this being about a 2 hour drive, and the race wasn't until 9 a.m., and packet pickup started at 8. We're up early anyways. We figured we'll just make it a quick trip and leave in the morning. So Saturday morning came around, and we left right at 5:30 in the morning, and we got into town actually just before 7:30, so it was a little bit quicker than we had planned, which is always good. And we got our packets, which I have on the wall here. So nothing fancy, just your standard bib. Again, I was doing the 5K, and my wife was doing the 10K. Now, if you've ever been to Sedona, Sedona's known for their red rocks, a beautiful scenery. They have tons of trails, a lot of mountain bikers, runners, walkers. It is a very touristy city, very hard to get around, as we encountered again shortly after the race. Uh, but it's a beautiful place, and the temperature is usually pretty nice this time of the year. When we're 90 degrees, they're probably about 80 degrees, maybe a tick under that. But we had a heat spell earlier in the week here in Phoenix, as did the rest of Arizona. Sedona got up into, I believe, the upper 80s when we were in the upper 90s, like 99 degrees. But the morning lows there was fairly chilly when we got out of the vehicle. It was, I want to say, it was in the upper 40s, maybe 46, 47 degrees Fahrenheit. So it was a nice change, but with a little higher elevation, when the sun's out, it definitely feels warmer than the temperature reading. So when we got there, we got our bibs, and we went on a very short warm up. We did part of the course, and the way this course is set up, um, basically you start out on the sidewalk in the park, and then within 2/10 of a mile you start going into the trail, and the trail is anywhere from single track to probably about 2-3 wide. So you're negotiating throughout the race, and you can pass people, but in those single track, you're just staying behind someone until, either you want to pass someone, that person in front of you moves to the right, or vice versa, you move over when someone's trying to pass you. Just, common etiquette in these races. So my plan going into this was one, have fun. That was my goal. Number two was stay upright. Because in trail running and racing, you can fall down, and I've only done about 3 trail races in my entire life. I'm not much of a trail runner. And number 3 was get on the podium for my age group. I'm 55, so they had 10-year age groups, 50 to 59. Last year's times, I want to say 27 minutes got you on the podium for 3rd place. 27 or 28, I want to say, which I figured would be tough. I didn't realize how tough it would be until we got on the course and was doing our warm-up. It is very technical in some spots. There are some moguls, these mountain bike ramps or hills, if you will. They're not very tall in nature. The tallest hill was maybe 6 to 10 feet, but they're very steep, and if you don't time it right, you either have to jump off it, which I wouldn't recommend. I'm sure the front runners were doing that, or just go down it very carefully, which I chose to do. So it was good to see, at least for myself, the course ahead of time. My wife typically doesn't like to know what it's like. I like to have a mental picture of what to expect and when to expect it. So we lined up, and it was time to go. And when I got out, my wife's faster than me, but I got out in front a little bit and stayed like that in that position for maybe 2/10, less than a quarter mile for sure. And then my wife passed me, and I just watched her go by. And it was a good race. It was tough. Yeah, you're breathing hard. Around 4,500 feet of elevation. And then I don't recall where. I think I want to say maybe around the 1.5 or so mile mark, a group of us got lost. I was following others. Now, the course was marked pretty well. They've got these red flags or ribbons, I should say, that are placed on areas like the trees, so that you follow, and then they would block off areas where not to go with yellow tape. However, in this one section, I guess, I should have paid more attention, but I stayed focused on the 2 or 3 people in front of me, and they got lost, and ultimately we all did. So we're standing around yelling for help because we were lost. Fortunately, we found our way. That took about 40 seconds, according to my Garmin, where we just basically were walking around looking, easy jog, try to get back on track. Finally, we did. We saw a group of runners running up, so we followed them and got back on track. And then the last part of the race, you're going back up those moguls, which is very difficult. But after that, you get back on the sidewalk, and it's probably a 200 meter finish on the sidewalk to the finish line. So my overall time was 32:24, which is a 10:25 pace. It would have been 3 miles. My watch gave me, I believe it was 3.2, close to a 5K. My wife did hers in exactly 6. So I think the race was probably 3 and 6 miles. So a little bit, under the 5K and 10K. But I probably would have finished under 32 minutes, probably, 32:30 or something like that. So I thought to myself, I'm definitely not in the running for getting on the podium in my age group. When I looked at the results, sure enough, I took first place in my age group for 50 to 59-year-olds. So I was shocked. I was surprised. I was happy, but I was also disappointed a little bit. When I say disappointed, it was my fault for uh, taking that wrong turn. You always kick yourself, when you do something that you should not have done. That was on me. That could have cost me my first place finish in my age group because I believe I finished within under 5 seconds of the male behind me. So I'm glad that I didn't waste any more time when I was lost. So I was excited about that. My wife, she had a great race. She actually negative split. I think we figured by um, it was 14 seconds, 10 seconds, something like that, uh, which was insane. But probably because she started out slower, got the lay of the land because it's a 2 lap race on the 10K. So very excited for her to have basically her goal was to win it, uh, overall female, but when she warmed up, she also knew this was going to be a challenge. She did, however, finish second overall female and first in her age group. So very excited. We were thrilled that we both, we did pretty good despite the challenges and the course being very hard. Uh, for our successes, my wife took $50 a gift card to the local Sedona Run Shop, which we're more than grateful for. So thank you. And then I took $35 for my first place finish. So after the race, we headed over to the running store, and my wife picked out a few things. Uh, there's not much that I really needed or wanted. I was going to give her the entire gift card. She said, no, find something. So I found a pair of feature socks. So uh, the rest I gave to her. So she was able to get, a pair of shorts, a flask for her vest, and I think a pair of socks as well. So all in all, a fun day. And then we went out to lunch, a place that my wife loves to eat, and they have good food. Did that, and then came home. It was a short trip, very fun. So that's how it turned out. Would I do this race again? I think I would. Just being better prepared and looking out for those flags. It's a challenge. There's probably about 300 runners, 250 runners in the 5K, and in the 10K, I think there was about 110. So not a large race, but it's a tight track on the trail. So I don't think they can really hold much more than that. But anyways, shout out to the local running store, Run Sedona, for putting this on, and we just had a fantastic weekend. So that's it. My next challenge, I'm not sure. One of our running stores in town they do this annually where they have a mile time trial that you can come out to. It's going to be not this Tuesday, but the following Tuesday, the 8th of April, in the evening. They do it at a track in Scottsdale. Everyone's invited. It's free. You just basically RSVP because they do free pizza afterwards, and they give you tons of food. You just come out and you run a mile as hard or as easy as you want. That's it. I'm not in mile race shape, but I may or may not. We'll see. I've left it open. I'll try this Thursday, I think, to just go out and run a mile hard. But we'll see what happens if I do the mile time trial. So excited to see what's ahead. Right now, not much on the board as far as races. Maybe in November, possibly. The 4th of July. Yes, the downtown mile. We know for sure we're going to do that. We're going to spend a couple days in Flagstaff and run some trails, do some running out there, and yeah, just have a good time when it's hot here in Phoenix. So that's it. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I hope you're doing well. Any races, anything you're training for, certainly let me know down below. And have a great week, guys. Take care.